Hey everybody, I want to show you guys this link I sent you ranking the return on investment of 4,500 US colleges and universities put out by Georgetown University. And what we have here is a fantastic list here of all 4,500 colleges. It appears when you first open it in alphabetical order, but you can organize these in different ways. You can organize these by state. You can organize these by associate's, bachelor's, or certificate. This doesn't have graduate schools in this. This is coming right out of high school. So you've got programs, for instance, this Alaska's Institute of Technology certificate program for whatever skills they teach. For it's a less than a 2-year program. It's a public school. And what this does, if you can look at some of the definitions above here. I won't go through all of them, but net present value refers to what you would call a person's net worth at 10 years, 15 years, 20, 30, or 40 years. But it is basically what somebody has earned or is expected to have earned based on this extensive report that they've done over the course of several years. So it's a really neat study here, and it's net. So that means that you subtract the costs that you paid for the college, the cost of student loans and all that, and how much money you would have at that time earned after college. And it doesn't necessarily have to be from your major. It's just the amount of money you earned after college. Okay, let's look at Emory University. And what we have is a 4-year bachelor from a private nonprofit institution. The average age of students entering is 21 years old. 10-year, now I don't know if that's, I think that might actually include the graduate school, but I'm not sure. But the 10-year NPV rank is not too hot. It's 1363 out of 4,529 colleges. Not very good. So after 10 years, you would have earned a total of $135,000 after cost of school and all that sort of thing. Okay, on average. Now, what's astounding here is that it drops in 5 years from 10 to 15 years from 1363 to 188. So suddenly it's in the top 200. And by 40 years, you're in the top 100 of all college graduates in the United States in terms of your return on investment. That's pretty amazing. Now, why is this? Well, Emory does not offer engineering, and it does not offer a lot of those high tech majors that bring a lot of money right after graduation. Okay. Now, what happened between the 10-year and 15-year mark? Well, what happens is a lot of people pay off their student loans. And so suddenly this number starts growing every year because there's no loan payments anymore. But the other thing is that at this point, they're moving into middle management and in some cases upper management and making a lot more money. Another factor is that Emory is one of those colleges where a lot of people go to graduate school. They go to medical school, law school, and they work for 5 to 7 years to get a PhD afterwards. So what happens at 7 years after graduation is that you may not be making a lot of money in those professions. In some cases, you just started those professions. But within 5 or 6 years, you're making a whole lot more money. Okay, so that explains that jump there. You know, it's a pretty neat list here. Let's look at a public school in Georgia. Now, notice I'm looking at Georgia Tech. If I put in Georgia Tech, this program's not very forgiving. It gives me all these different colleges, but none of them are Georgia Institute of Technology. So I have to put in some of the right terminology here. So we look at Georgia Institute of Technology, Georgia Tech. Right off the bat, it's actually in the top 100 for its 10-year rank. It's an engineering school. And then it drops from there, and it remains in the top 30 throughout. So good return on investment there. Let's look at another college that a lot of people have not heard of, called Harvey Mudd Engineering College, private school. So it's more expensive than Georgia Tech for the most part. That may contribute to why after 10 years it's still only at the 284 mark, because you may be paying off student loans or had a lot of high expenses. But look what happens over time. These engineers are really making a lot of money. After 40 years, it's in the top 14. Okay, so I urge people to kind of play around with this, put in some different colleges. Look at Tufts, a very expensive college, 1,774. Not too sharp, not too good. But then suddenly, from the 10-year to 15, it drops to 128, and you're ranked in the top 50 by the end of your career there. Let's look at another very expensive college, Stanford. On the other hand, it has remarkable numbers right from the start and all the way to the end. It's ranked 21st. Why is that? Well, it has a lot to do with those engineering and those computer science degrees, those high-tech degrees that people get and make a lot of money in their first 10 years. Okay, let's see who's number one. I'm going to clear this, and I have to actually erase this. And what's neat about this, I can go through each column, and I can click on the column, and I can rank based on that. And so I see number one is Putnam Westchester BOCES Practical Nursing Program. It's not even an associate's degree, much less a bachelor's degree. It's a certificate program, less than 2 years, and yet after 10 years, it has the number one earning potential or return on investment of any college in the nation. You will have earned $431,000 net after 10 years. Now, someone says, well, okay, well, how does it do in the long run? Well, in the long run, look, it's still in the top 100, 52. Now, it may not be that people are earning that much money 30 or 40 years in their career, but if you start off earning a lot of money, then you have an opportunity to invest it. Remember, this NPV is the value of the money that you have at that point. So it's an accumulation there too. But notice these other schools. We've got a technical school here. It's number two. Okay, not a top college. It's a technical school, nursing program, another nursing program, a pharmaceutical program. Look at number 6, Albany College, and I'm gonna then look at the 40-year rank. And that number 6 jumps up to number 1. It is number 6 after 10 years. It is number 1 after 20, 30, and 40 years. Number 1 in the country. It is a college, 4-year college, bachelor's. It's private, nonprofit. But people are getting out of there with high-paying jobs, and presumably a lot of people are going to medical school and let's say physical therapy programs and things like that as well. So that's another explanation for the high earnings. Okay, it doesn't have to be these top colleges, but yeah, you do see MIT number 4, Stanford number 5, Harvard number 8, Georgetown number 9. What I'm impressed about is look at number 10, U.S. Merchant Marine. Okay, and then also the Maine Maritime Academy number 6. You've got some of these maritime academies that are in the top 20 here, several of them, which I find pretty interesting. And if I go back to my 10-year list, I see at number 19, Hobart Institute of Welding Technology, an entire school dedicated to welding. There may be some other skills as well, but ranked in the top 20 schools with the highest 10-year NPV in the nation. So we don't have to be looking at traditional academics to have a high-paying career. Welding is something that's been in high demand for quite a while now and will probably continue to be in high demand, although I don't know how AI technology is going to figure into that. But you have to have someone to run the machine, so we'll see. Okay, let's look at another university that we sometimes think about as a very prestigious top university, New York University. Ooh, look at that 10-year ranking. Not so great. 39, 18. you're expected to have an accumulated $49,000 after 10 years. After 40 years, you're in the top 200. That's great. But in the beginning, not so hot. Okay. What's going on here? Well, part of what's going on is you've got a very expensive school, doesn't provide the same level of financial aid that a lot of other schools of its costs do. So as a result, a lot of people who go to NYU end up paying the full amount or close to the full amount. But overall, it's going to be a good value over time. But if you're worried about those first 10 years or so, then you might end up looking at another school. Okay. I wanted to look at a couple other things. Berkeley College of Music, very prestigious, is second to last when it comes to the 10-year NPV rank. Second to last, and it's not a whole lot better after 40 years. The life of a musician just can be very difficult. Let's look at Juilliard. I need to spell it right. This is very unforgiving if you don't. It's not much better in the 10-year rank. And the 40-year rank is significantly better, but still not great. But if we look at, for instance, let's say if you want to be a music engineer, Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences, your 10-year rank is in 250. That puts you in about the top 10 or 11%. So pretty awesome there. Okay, what if the college's philosophy is really important to you? Let's take a look at Oberlin, very liberal college. 4,435 is their 10-year rank. Does get better over time, but are you going to trade? How important is that philosophy to you? On the other side, if you're very conservative, here's Liberty University, 4,357, and again, it's not that much different on the other side after 40 years. So these are some things to think about. I think this is a valuable tool for helping you. It should only be one tool in the equation. I don't think it should be the deciding factor. There's a lot of other things to a college besides just how much money you're going to make. But this is something that hopefully will help you guys out. Thanks.